What's up, everybody? Echo. Exit here. Okay. Now? Holy hell. Okay. Coming in like a wrecking ball. What's up? You ready? I can't hear you. Hold on.
You got it on me. There we go.
Hey. Well, I was like, I don't know. I'm like doing sign language. Like, can you hear me? Good morning.
Yeah.
Top of the morning to you.
Good morning.
Right. Me too, girl. Me too. Jason's kind of sick, so he's in my background, so I had to turn my background around. And oh my God, my whole world just went upside down more than usual.
Oh no.
That's okay. That's why I'm off the camera. Anyways, how's it going, everybody?
Yes.
I know.
How is it going?
Hi, Mark. Mark says hi, Elma. Say hi, Mark.
I can't see the chat.
Like, why not?
Well, here, maybe
you're not. No damn excuse.
1 second. Well, I'm in the oh, good morning, princess. I'm in the I had to use my iPad because I have to keep my phone open and I have to keep my laptop.
Because you still work that 1-900 number, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
You can't quit the day job.
I gotta make money somehow.
I feel you.
But yeah, so I'm like I just got home and then to you and yeah. So
yeah, it was only if you wanted to.
I was like, well,
it's optional, I just like to throw the opportunity out there.
I haven't been on for so long, and huh?
You look pretty today.
What'd you say?
You look pretty every day, but you look pretty.
Oh. I put on makeup. I haven't been doing that a lot, but
right.
I might have to go somewhere later.
Mom,
I don't want.
Mom, is my mom in here?
Yeah, right that's there. Why I said. Oh, I thought you knew, because that's why I was like,
"Oh no." Princess. I was multitasking. I was going to grab something while you were talking. I was taking advantage. So, good morning, Mom. Good morning, Susan.
Good morning, Kate. And everyone else I'm missing because I can't multitask. So
it's difficult. It's difficult. It's difficult research, y'all.
Yes.
We've known this from the beginning. And well, I didn't really know, but now we know.
Yes.
Difficult.
Oh, there we go.
So, oh man.
When is this? Did you? Are you on there right now? When does it start, supposedly?
I am allegedly. It's always allegedly. Mom's like, I don't know. What do y'all say on? I don't know what you can and can't say on these channels, or how y'all talk. And I'm like, you just always say allegedly.
Yeah, I mean,
in my opinion.
Oh, I was trying to touch the screen on my laptop just now.
Because that's hard to transition.
I'm like, what the hell?
Okay, I'm looking. I mean, we're ahead.
Lawyer chick. Are we? What time does it start? Oh, she just had said that because we're not. I just tried to touch it again. We're not part of the case or professional.
I still want to get sued.
Yeah, you don't know with those
slander. Look at Brandon Boudreaux. I mean, woo.
Yeah.
just because, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, that'd be a good lawyer chick question.
Yeah, but you're right that you can't.
There's so many characters in this story.
Yeah. Well, and some people just enjoy. I mean, if you're gonna sue the government over paying taxes,
Right.
you happy kind of person.
This is what we're dealing with.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, pure narcissism. I mean, I just like I don't understand. I guess that other night I didn't see it. I listened to you on replay, and Amy was like, "Did you see the trolls?" And I was like, "No," because I watched replay.
I don't know how she can
usually listen, but
I'm sorry, I'm having a delay.
Oh, it's fine. But yeah, I don't.
I am not seeing any. Like, I'm not even seeing the on Judge Boyce's whatever you call that. Oh,
YouTube channel.
Yeah, his YouTube channel, but the top part, the banner. Yeah, the banner. Like, none of that's showing up. I mean, it's got his little gavel, and I'll go ahead and share it anyways because I might as well get on top of that.
Why does it say it doesn't have any content? Probably because this is like a
because it just or maybe I don't know. Hell yeah, Jen, you're on that side.
I don't know. Live stream offline. Well,
okay. Mine didn't even say that. So
is it Stephen W. Boyce?
Yes, Judge Stephen W. Boyce, YouTube.
W. Boyce. And it just says live stream and chat is disabled. So I'm assuming that
Eric said this was Eric's Eric's advice was to go to where it says videos, and that's where it'll refresh. Like, you just keep refreshing, but it's not scheduled to start until, well, it's 10:11 my time, and it's 9:11 your time, Mountain Standard Time. So 9:30 Mountain Standard Time. So on the half hour mark is whenever it's supposed to come on, but I don't even know if how.
Hi, I need to use my tripod of books. I don't have
all that knowledge.
Oh my gosh. See, this is why I accidentally shut off the string the other night, because my brain is fried and gone.
Oh yeah, that was epic. Oh my god, I was like, oh, okay. It was hilarious.
And I was like, no. And then you were there, and for a second I was like, oh good, it didn't do it. And then I was like, oh, it did, because I saw that it had ended in the corner, and I was just like, does it say that he doesn't have any content, like when you go on there?
Yes.
Like this, yes. Okay. All
it's
right.
Like, so, he doesn't sit there and retain videos.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So yeah, I guess they just wipe them clean, and then that's when Nate Eaton is like, bam, with that stupid wham thing that scares the crap out of me every time. I'm like, dude, I need to be like, hey. Yeah.
I was
the East Idaho
watching
news
stuff back the other day.
And
he, okay. As we're waiting, I'm watching 2020. I didn't bring this up, but because these things just kind of hit me, they just like
preach.
All of a sudden, I'll be like, what? And well, not in that voice.
I call it revelations, and I had about 4 before this thing started. I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, so I'm watching it. I hear Adam say, she's the same. And I was like,
so, right.
To me, that to me, my opinion, as a layperson, non-professional, just I don't really know what I'm talking about.
But has some damn common sense.
But I think that to me says she's competent.
Right? Because if she was in that frame of mind before, she's in that frame of mind now, it's consistent. It's
yeah. Because when I think of incompetent, when I was like, oh, she's incompetent, the only thing that I could see was she has flipped out because she realizes what she did. So that was the only reason I was like, well, maybe it's like she's flipped out so much that she doesn't even, she's not processing. She's not, because
right.
But then when he said that, I was like, well, give me a break.
No, we don't get breaks around here.
It's, you know what? It's just delaying the inevitable. It's gonna happen sooner or later. So, enjoy your Haldol in your ass.
Okay, I want to do a poll real quick. Everybody, there are 144. Ha ha ha.
No, there are.
That was just by chance. Okay, 144 people in here who are very competent in having their own decision and entitled to it, just like everybody else. Freedom of speech. So, everybody that thinks she's malingering, put a 1 in the chat. Everybody that thinks she is incompetent, put a 2. And go.
I already know who's going to win.
Right.
Let me guess. I have predicted presidential elections in the past and been correct.
No snap.
And I was the only
person.
God!
It just updated the. Oh, wow.
I would say.
I haven't found a 2 yet.
Yeah.
Holy crap. No, I didn't. Hey, everybody. And that's how you give people an answer. Hey. People that don't even normally. Holy crap. That's all. I mean, we concur. I'm sure I concur for sure. I can't speak for Jen, but.
No, I believe she is. I believe there's also an administrative issue because I know Idaho funds mental health and facilities, and they would probably fund a psychologist like that much. And so for me, I think more of the delay, and this is without knowing anything, I think the delay is more like we can't find a psychologist who will actually take this. Or we just can't find one because she's in the middle of BF nowhere, and we have to get someone from Boise, and their caseload is really high. And you know what I mean? Like, I think it's more of a budgetary, because Rob Wood, he already is asking the state to pay to bring in the other prosecutor. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to give her the credit that she's, you know what I mean?
I know, because, right? I want to give them credit where credit's due. I want to give them the credit that they deserve, that they worked for. I mean, they worked for this notoriety. I just want to give them their due, just want to,
yeah.
What do you call it? Give them credit for their work. Credit them for.
Yeah, well,
ruining.
I guess I don't want to think that professionals would be dumb enough to fall for it, right? Because I'm like, just in my experience, like I was talking to a professional the other day. Okay, well, she's my therapist, but I was like, I don't understand. Like, am I just thinking? And she's like, well, I've seen her, and she doesn't look incompetent to me. Like, she can. And I was like, yeah, I just have to be like, okay, she's in a crappy state facility. Yeah. Yeah, big one.
I agree, Megan. She will face her maker one day. And that's what I'm saying. Like, we have no jurisdiction in God's court.
The other thing is if she's malingering.
Or because she's malingering, allegedly.
She thinks she's going to get out of it. She's like, okay, if I just pretend, then she won't. It doesn't matter. She's either going to stay there and get Haldol in her ass every day, which, and I normally don't cheer for that, but since she was like anti-vax type, I'm like, yeah, give her the max dose.
Totally antitrust. Yeah, government.
Yeah.
I just anti-stress. No.
Yeah. I mean, I have my own issues with it.
I do too, because of people like that.
Yeah. Well, because they don't fund things. It's like they, yeah. I mean, I have issues all
Carla,
around.
that's beautiful.
I'm a nonpartisan pissed off at it. People are always like, you're so liberal. And I'm like, I might be liberal, but I'm always pissed. And I'm not necessarily just pissed because of one party. I'm pissed because these programs pass and then they don't fund them. And then people are like, oh, well, why is that not effective? Oh, I don't know. Because you don't hire psychologists, Idaho. You hire one that's just out of school. And he's like, well, I'm just an intern. Because usually that's who works in the prison system for the most part. I mean, they're like first year trying to get their social work license. At least that's in Utah. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that rant is over.
I was waiting
all day. And
have you refreshed? Because I'm still not seeing the top.
Well, I went in.
Like I'm not.
I went in and I saw the banner.
I'm not getting a banner. I don't know if it's just not. If my computer's running slow, which is more than likely, because it's kind of.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that one of us is going to be able to share our screen, and hopefully the one with the working content would be great. I hate to throw that on you, but I don't understand.
Yeah, like I got, okay, let me see if I can find it again, because when I first got on there on the search, it said like this isn't live streaming. So it looked like, you know, like before your live stream starts, that it was there, but he just hadn't started. Now I'm going to it and I'm getting like this channel has no content. Like there's nothing.
Yeah, I have that too.
Let me see if I can search for it again.
In there, you know, like I refresh it or whatever, but it just still says. I just don't like that it's not showing me channel art, making me nervous.
Yeah.
So now that we're not, I want everybody to know that we're not able to look at chat whenever we are searching. Or I haven't figured that out yet.
I agree with Carla too. Like, and I was talking the other day with Eric on this. Like, people can have, and I've talked about my own mental illness. You can have a mental illness and never commit a fucking crime in your life.
Right.
Like, I accidentally left Target with like something from the dollar section once, and I was like, I got to take it back. And Michelle's like, we're home. I'm like, I can't do it. And I took it back, and they're like, I'm like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do it. And they're like, okay, lady, crazy lady. But I was like, I can't live with myself if I do it. So I think what makes me mad about it, and I've said this before, is that then when people have legitimate mental illness that they struggle with, and that they're very good people and would never commit a crime, it's like whenever people play a schizophrenic person, it's like the schizophrenic person has to be a murderer. And I've known met schizophrenic people.
It's the stigma, right? And I want to break the stigma too. I mean, there's a lot of stigmas surrounding this case, and I mean, oh gosh, just the stigma of the mental health issues, the way they treat a woman versus a man in law enforcement, and dire, you know, on these calls. I really, God, I'm going to push for them to have at least somebody who's in the field of mental. Oh my God, I'm brain dead today. Psychology, whatever it is. Just, I don't even care if it's just somebody who is like has an associate's degree, even just somebody who has some kind of, you know, knowledge or a little more expertise than, let's say, an officer would, I just feel like they need to be required to go
Yeah.
on at least these domestic calls, at least. And
Yeah.
oh my God, there's so many.
Yeah, so Utah is actually doing really well with that. We'll see if it gets funded. But Utah has started to do what they call 988. And so if you're having a mental health crisis, you can call this 988 number, and they'll like triage you. And because some people just need to be talked down, they're having a crisis. And some people, they have to be transported. And so they'll kind of route you through, like, so if it's not like an acute thing, they'll give you resources, like you can sign on to Medicaid, like we'll get you Medicaid, we'll get you connected to services. Or you can, if it's acute, they can say, okay, we're going to send out a mental health team. That we have like these mobile mental health teams, and they'll go out and kind of talk to you down. Or if we feel like that might be a domestic issue, we will send out the police, but they'll have like this iPad thing, and you can
just
talk
kind of
to
a check
directly.
Yeah.
And so they'll do all that. Because
if they say this, then you go here. If they say no, you go there. A flow chart, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. Because when the senator explained it to me, I was like, can you dumb this down? Because you're saying all this stuff, and I study this stuff and I'm confused. But it's
growing. We're growing, guys. I'm sorry. I have to just drop that little announcement real quick. It actually, this channel, Difficult Research, showed up on his recommend, and it's getting in the algorithm. So that's awesome. That's
I know. I saw your subscribers the other day, and I was like, yes.
They went down.
They went down?
I was like, oh, whatever.
You know what? I think YouTube has bots too.
Oh yeah.
And so I do think that, because mine will do that. It's like just a couple, or it's just a couple people that, just decide they don't like you and whatever, screw them. But let's see, Webster's defines malingering, pretend or exaggerate incapacity or illness as to avoid his boss expected. Maybe they must be in a conversation in chat.
Webster's Webster's definition of malingering: pretend or exaggerate incapacity or illness as to avoid injury or work. His boss suspected him of malingering due to his absences at work. It was like an example, I guess, like a Siri.
And here's the thing. When we read the text from Zulema.
Thank you, Michael.
Why isn't she in a facility?
I've got all kinds of braces for her.
Crazy. Why isn't Chad?
Don't give them any damn ideas. Who knows who's all freaking watching?
Yeah, actually, yeah. But
they're smart. They'll figure it
out. No, I mean, yeah. Gemma says Charles would still be alive if police arrested.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I am so irritated, and I get that I've never been in the position that police officers get put in on a daily basis, and so I am not saying that all cops are like this.
But there was like 3 calls, and like how many? Come on now.
Yeah, there's a serious training issue.
And just all of them. Just he went clergy, he went legal, he went everything except for like domestic abuse.
Yeah.
He did everything to go to jail for putting his hands on her.
And he could have.
So what are they supposed to do?
He may not have, because men don't. It's very shameful for men to say, "Yeah, my wife is."
It's also very shameful for so many people to be murdered because, you were like, the cop that was the initial cop when he was like, "What do you mean tried to murder you?" And he was like, "Murder you how?" spiritually, oh, okay. Instead he's saying, I suspect he's schooling them on how to talk legally,
Right.
instead of trying to figure out what the hell's wrong.
Yeah. And it's like,
and
you're the
and,
young,
and coerce
you,
him out of
yeah.
it, saying, well, no, spiritually. And then Uncle Charles went back and he was like, but no, harm, bodily, like harm me. I can't
Yeah.
verbatim say it today for some reason. I don't have that dialect, but y'all know what I mean. The gist of it is just, instead of trying to teach somebody else how to do your job, just do it. Just do your job and try to be better at it than you were yesterday. Just like being a better person than you were yesterday.
It's another thing we see, that fun mental health. And I was talking about it with someone the other day, because there was a bill that failed. And I was like, okay, we are in a Republican controlled state. Why are these bills to support officers failing? Like, why
Yeah.
why are we passing the legislation we always say we need? Back the blue, all of that. Why are we not giving
I don't
them
want to
mental
define
health?
them.
Yeah. I mean, why are we not? Well, that's like a semantic
Well, I know,
thing
but still, same thing though. I mean, anybody could say it for any
well,
reason, for whatever,
yeah, I mean,
because it's a
it's
Thursday
a
and
stupid thing. What it is like getting mental health resources, getting social workers out there that can talk people down, avoiding the shooting,
or
avoiding
just
putting
even
others in a position where they
pinpoint
have
the
to
flags. That's
Huh?
my thing. Mine is just to point out red flags.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily need them. You know what I mean? It starts with just the little. I mean, just the basics. Just not having a blonde floozy come in and just be like, oh yeah, okay, blah, blah, blah.
Well,
And just
I did some research on Arizona, because I was like, well, do they have any mental health trained officers? Because we have mental health trained officers. It didn't work out so well in a couple cases, but we do have an officer unit. When they go on these calls, they are to de-escalate the situation. The bottom line, here's what pisses me off the most. When she was in that fucking station, I'm going to swear. When she was in that fucking station and they knew it was an order, they knew it. And they knew it didn't expire, because I looked up the law. That order does not expire unless a judge says it does. They knew that they could take her right then. They could transport her to that facility. And they're like telling her how to get out of it. Like, fuck you.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, and let's say she did actually go, even though I've never seen any proof. So until I see it, then I'm not gonna. Okay, it's live. Okay.
Oh, is it?
Yep. Okay, hold on. Let me go share.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you got it? Go ahead.
Well, I can't share it because I'm on my iPad.
Okay. All right. My bad. Sorry, guys. Hurry up.
Buffering.
Oh my God.
Daybell representing Mr. Daybell's attorney John Pryor.
Oh God.
Rob Wood is here today representing the state. This is the time we have scheduled for a motion to extend time for motions to be filed and heard under Rule 12B.
Can you hold on for just one moment?
Sure. Yeah, who was that?
Mama.
It's not letting me mute the Cuban, so it's giving us bad feedback.
It's their problem.
Okay, go ahead and get that resolved. We'll wait.
Hey, Boyce, what's up? Just kidding.
John Pryor looking constipated as usual.
Yes, constipated.
And Rob Wood clenching his teeth, trying to be polite and look like he doesn't want to punch him.
Never wants to shave anymore, huh? Shave.
I've never seen Rob Wood in glasses.
Do we need to say something so you can check it?
If you want me to, I'm joking.
No, okay.
I'm gonna drive y'all insane. I'll mute it when they actually do. If I mute it, can y'all hear it? Crap.
Like if you mute.
What
Hold
happened?
on 1 second.
Oh, I bet they restarted it. What the hell?
No, it's on my. Hold on.
No. I don't know why. It just did it automatically.
The time we have
Great.
scheduled for a motion to extend time for motions to be filed and heard under Rule
We'll never know.
12B.
Can you hear it on mine?
Yeah.
Okay. 1 second.
So I figured this. Go ahead.
I'm gonna. What do I gotta do?
This is so stupid. I never have.
Because it's not.
Hold on for just one moment.
Yeah, who's that?
Preparing.
Okay, thanks.
There we go.
Can you see it?
This is KCR 2221-1623, State versus Chad. Guy Daybell representing Mr. Daybell is Attorney John Pryor. Rob Wood is here today representing the state. This is the time we have scheduled for a motion to extend time for motions to be filed and heard under Rule 12B.
Judge, can you hold on for just one moment?
Yeah, who was that?
That was it's not letting me mute the YouTube, and so it's giving us
Okay.
bad
Why is
feedback.
it repeating?
Okay, if you'll go ahead and get that resolved, we'll wait.
That's what I'm thinking, Megan. I think that goes on their end.
Go a little bit
If so,
further.
went on now. Huh?
Go a little bit further because I just tested it on mine and it looks.
Oh,
looks like
I'm
they're
trying to
fine
hide.
now.
Okay. I'm sorry. I don't know why I went to the Melanie video. That's silly. Like we don't see her enough.
Let's see. Let me see. I'm gonna work on something on my.
Hey, y'all don't come here to watch the damn court case ever. See what happens. See, it's $1.29. My bad. Minute.
It's preparing.
Let me into the
Okay,
broadcast.
Oh God. Why is it?
This is KCR 2221-1623, State.
Okay.
With the grand jury transcript,
Okay.
and each and every one of the witnesses that offered evidence to the state that at least to this date has been provided to me. Judge, I will tell you that was a onerous task, and at this point, I just got with stipulation of the state to get the voting record. And I did manage yesterday when I was in Fremont County to take a look at the voting record. I felt that after the court did the initial trial setting, and I believe that was on 12/3, that under my reading of the rules is that I needed to file a second renewed motion to extend time to be able to preserve that. Now, in reading of the rules, when the trial setting was set, at least my reading of the rules is that there was an opportunity within a short period of time, 28 days, to file a motion to dismiss. I don't think that was sufficient enough given the incredible length this motion is going to encompass. It's a significant amount of information in this, what's going to be addressing this grand jury proceeding. There are a number of issues that I'll need to bring up and a number of issues that I'll need to address. And Judge, it's not just something as simple as filing a motion to dismiss and saying this is what I have a problem with. This is 5 days of grand jury testimony. The standard, Judge, is excusable neglect, but there hasn't been any neglect here. What there has been, I've been diligent in going through all of this information, reviewing all of this, and quite frankly, Judge, the magnitude of the work is going to require that I'll need some additional time to do that.
Mr. Pryor, I'll just note the rule allows for extension for either good cause shown or excusableness. So
Right.
that option's available under the rule as well.
And Judge, what I'm asking for is good cause. And frankly, Judge, I don't have the information, but I did contact Mr. Archibald, who represents Ms. Vallow, and I discussed with him, I believe in late December, I'd strike that, I think late January, late December, I'm in December, that I had heard that there was another grand jury proceeding with additional evidence that was presented to the grand jury. I contacted Mr. Archibald. I was advised that Mr. Archibald had heard the same thing. I anticipate, Judge, asking for a transcript of that grand jury proceeding if in fact there was one. I don't expect Mr. Wood to address that or even acknowledge that. He doesn't have to. It's something that if he chooses not to acknowledge that it occurred, I'll petition the court for whether or not that there was a proceeding. But I did hear as part of the investigation that there was an additional grand jury proceeding conducted. So at that point, if there is, Judge, and there was any testimony as it relates to this case, at that point, I'm entitled to that information, additional information, and if there were witnesses and testimony, I should be afforded a chance to get that information prior to me even filing any kind of addressing any concerns I might have in the grand jury transcript. And with that, Judge, I'll hand this over to Mr. Wood.
All right, thank you, Mr. Pryor. Mr. Wood, state's response.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would note that in the defendant's motion, the reason for his request in the motion is simply that there was another grand jury proceeding. The state has no problem acknowledging there was a grand jury proceeding. The state does disagree that it affects this proceeding in any way. I would just note for background, Idaho Criminal Rule 12b provides that a defendant can file a motion to dismiss for defects in an indictment. There are time limits on that. Those time limits are provided by Rule 12d. And we've talked about already, it's 28 days after a plea of not guilty. The state in this case did not object to Mr. Pryor's first two motions. As has already been stated, the grand jury transcript was not prepared. That's certainly good cause for an extension of time. However, the state would further note that those timelines do exist, and failure to exercise those rights in a timely manner does constitute a waiver of such right. That's found in Rule 12F, and case law affirms that. I note State versus Jones, 140 Idaho 755 states that tardily raised objections based on defects in an indictment or information are waived unless they allege either a failure to show jurisdiction or failure to charge an offense. The defects for which an indictment may be dismissed are found in Idaho Criminal Rule 6.6, none of which were alleged in the defendant's motion, none of which had been alleged by the defendant today. In terms of the timeline of this case, I think we've already discussed that. I would note at this point, we are more than 90 days out since the defendant received the transcript. He has not filed any 12B motions to date based on that transcript. I would note he talked about the voting sheet. The defendant has only recently asked for that voting sheet, more than 2 months after he received the transcript. Now, we certainly, we did stipulate to him being able to see the voting sheet because the rules say he's allowed to. But if he wanted to base any type of motion, 12B motion on what's contained in that voting sheet or the transcript, he should have acted on that a lot sooner. He could have asked for that at the same time he had a motion to receive the transcript or when he received the transcript. Instead, he waited well past 28 days after the time he received the transcript to even make that request. Again, I would note the defendant has not alleged any defects whatsoever in the transcript or the indictment under which the defendant was charged. He hasn't presented any good cause other than it's voluminous. Well, he also alleged in his motion that he has read the entire thing. We understand there's a lot of work. Having said that, he hasn't done any of the motion work necessary to file any, to prepare for a 12B motion. In terms of this additional grand jury proceeding, he's never filed a request for that transcript. Now, the state actually believes he's not entitled to that under Rule 6.2c, which dictates who's entitled to a grand jury transcript. And I'm only noting this, Your Honor, because this is the reason listed in the defendant's motion. Grand jury transcript is limited to the prosecuting attorney, any individual indicted by that grand jury, or anyone charged with perjury due to their testimony in front of the grand jury. Mr. Daybell does not meet any of those criteria. Mr. Pryor is correct that grand jury proceedings are extremely confidential. The state does feel comfortable saying that his client wasn't even the subject of the grand jury proceeding that day. The only way that additional grand jury proceedings could reasonably be used to attack the initial indictment is if new charges were brought against the defendant and the state attempted to merge or combine those two indictments, which hasn't happened. Again, I've already brought up, he hasn't even filed a motion for that transcript. He only recently asked for the voting sheet. The right to file a 12B motion to dismiss an indictment for defects in the indictment protects the defendant's right to fair proceedings and a fair trial. However, the defendant's not the only person entitled to fair proceedings and a fair trial. The people of the state of Idaho, specifically the people of Fremont County and Madison County, are also entitled to a fair trial. The victims in this case are entitled to fair proceedings and fair trial. It would be unduly prejudicial for the state to grant the defendant, or for the court to grant the defendant's motion, where he's clearly waived as 12B, or his rights to file under 12B. We're more than 90 days out from the time he received the transcript. At some point, Your Honor, the problem is we're well into trial prep. We're getting ready for trial. Timelines are provided by the rules for these things to be taken care of in a timely manner. If Mr. Pryor had filed those other motions, we might have a different position, but he hasn't. They've made the tactical decision to not file any of these other motions. He has raised no allegations whatsoever of defects to date. And so in conclusion, he's failed to state any reason or good cause why any additional proceedings in which the defendant was not indicted should be subject grounds for an extension of time. He's provided no good cause in terms of actions he's taken to preserve those 12B motions. The defendant has not provided the court any excusable neglect for his decision not to do so. As such, as a matter of law, he has waived his right to file any 12B motions, other than those regarding jurisdiction or failure to charge an offense. So the state respectfully requests an order denying the defendant's motion, in which states the time to file any such motions is now expired. Thank you.
All right, if I could briefly respond. I'm going to allow what did you say, Mr. Pryor?
May I respond, Judge?
Yeah, I was absolutely going to let you respond. You just didn't give me a chance. So
okay, I apologize.
Thanks for the argument, Mr. Pryor. What's your response?
Judge, I would point out that I filed a timely motion to extend time on 6/21/22. I filed another one on 9/21/22 because I had not had the transcript at that time. My recollection is that there was never a formal order extending the time, although I think on the record the court extended the time. At that point, I had not had an opportunity to review the voluminous nature of what was transpired here in terms of 5 days of grand jury testimony. So at that point, after he was provided the initial district court arraignment on 12/3, I filed another extension of time. I can't see logically how Mr. Wood can claim I wasn't diligent in seeking an extension of time because of the voluminous nature of this evidence when on 3 separate occasions, Judge, I filed motions to extend time. I take issue with Mr. Wood's suggestion that if witnesses were called during a grand jury transcript, and I want to thank Mr. Wood for acknowledging the grand jury. He didn't have to do that, and thank you for doing that, because there now will be a motion to get that transcript that of whatever was said to the grand jury. And Judge, if there were any witnesses who are witnesses in this case, now I would suggest that they probably called witnesses because they don't reconvene a grand jury and not put witnesses on the standard testimony. So anything that was said, the suggestion that I wouldn't be entitled to it, I think is ludicrous, because any information about what a witness says in front of any kind of a proceeding, I would be entitled to it. You don't get to cap this under some rule that says you don't get this. So If there now is grand jury testimony, Judge, I need that testimony. In addition, an opportunity to review that before I go forward with this motion. So I would respectfully ask the court to extend the time. I believe that the sheer nature of the volume in this case, and as an example, the court saw the voluminous nature of the venue information that I had to submit. I would represent to the court that that's only a fraction of what this case involves in terms of evidence. So given that, Judge, I think I've shown good cause, and I don't want to allege that there was excusable neglect, because there has been no neglect. I've been diligent in filing 3 motions to extend time, asking the court to give me an opportunity to adequately prepare this before. And Mr. Wood suggesting that I haven't alleged any problems with the grand jury proceedings. Well, Mr. Wood, that's not what a motion to extend is for. The motion to dismiss is to allege those things. And once the court provides me an opportunity and sets a deadline, if I deem that that motion to dismiss needs to come forward, it'll come forward. It'll allege what needs to be alleged. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Pryor. I've considered the arguments of counsel and the reasons stated in the motion. I've also considered Idaho Criminal Rule 12D, which goes through the time frame. I'd note that 12D reads that motions under Rule 12B must be filed within 28 days after the entry of a plea of not guilty or 7 days before trial, whichever is earlier. It goes on to state that in felony cases, motions under Rule 12B must be brought on for hearing within 14 days after filing or 48 hours before trial, whichever is earlier. And then importantly, it indicates the court may shorten or enlarge the time and for good cause shown or for excusable neglect may relieve a party of failure to comply with this rule. So going back earlier into the history of this case, there was an arraignment in the case that took place on June 9th, 2021, and a timely motion to extend was filed and granted by the court. There was an initial order on June 23rd where the court ordered an extension of the time and indicated that the motion was to be filed and heard by September 10th of 2021. And that was a time frame we discussed in relation to when we thought the transcripts would all be available to be a completed review to allow an adequate opportunity for the filing of a motion under 12B. As we learned later, then the transcripts were still not done at the time of that initial extension, which went out into September. And those transcripts, in fact, didn't get done, I believe, until October. There were intervening motions filed to preserve the request to extend under 12D. I don't find there's been a excusable neglect here, because I do agree with Mr. Pryor's analysis that he's preserved the issue. And so the question before the court is whether or not there's good cause shown in this filing today. And I do find, first of all, that the rule obviously builds in quite a bit of discretion. And I think the policy of the rule is to allow the parties adequate time to bring such a motion well before trial so that everybody doesn't complete trial preparation and then find out a case is dismissed on the eve of trial. And I think one of the important things the court considers then is when is the trial in this case. And that's an important factor to me because our trial is still a year away. We don't have trial scheduled until January of 2023 in this case. And so due to the voluminous nature of the transcripts, I do find that good cause is shown for an extension. However, now that those are completed, the court is going to order a specific time frame like we did in the first order back in June of last year and set the hearing as well as the deadline for the motion. I just want to discuss the setting of the hearing, of course, because the rule then gives a quick time frame for the hearing to be heard after the motion is filed. So I'd like to include in an order the deadline for both of those. All the discussion of any further grand jury proceedings is beyond the scope of this hearing and not anything I'm considering, and I'm not making any ruling based on whether or not there was any further grand jury proceedings. All I know is there was no further indictment. So to me, that does not factor into this decision at this time. So with that in mind, there is still quite a lot of time before trial, but it's also a motion that I think has been out there and you've known about it for a long time, Mr. Pryor. And as you've indicated, you do now have the completed transcripts and you've reviewed those. So I don't know that this needs to get extended any longer than possible, because I think the state is correct that it's entitled to know the answer to this question as it's preparing for trial, which it's already starting to do. So I will grant the motion, and I want to now discuss a deadline for having that hearing and filing of the motion. And I'll note my calendar's a little tricky for the next, between now and March, although I do have some dates where I can get a hearing scheduled. So what is your suggestion on a proposed time frame when you'd have this ready to be heard, Mr. Pryor?
Judge, the end of March, I'm unavailable the 24th and 25th. The 29th through the 1st, I'm available if the court has any time at that point. That would be, that should be sufficient if the court can fit it in at that point. I do note that we do have another hearing on this case that I believe is set for the 18th of March. Actually, two hearings, one at 9 and one at 11. So I don't know that we should have it before that time, but obviously I'll defer to the court's wisdom.
I think this motion is really independent of those other motions and could be heard prior to that. So I'm looking to see if we could fit this in. I definitely don't want to do it on the 18th with those other hearings. I'm not sure how long the motion to sever will take, but I think we need to reserve time for that. I'm just, if you'll give me a moment, I'm just reviewing my calendar and what dates I don't have available due to other trial settings. How about March 23rd?
I can do the 23rd of March, Judge, yes.
Your Honor, is that the hearing date?
Yeah, that's, and I appreciate you bringing that up, Mr. Wood. I'm kind of going backwards here, but I'd like to get the hearing date scheduled, and then in accordance with the rule, we'll set a motion filing deadline. How does that day look on your calendar, Mr. Wood?
That day works for the state. That's the state's preference would be that this issue be taken care of before any other motions, though. Where it would be a dispositive motion, at least a temporarily dispositive motion.
Judge, I don't anticipate that the court's going to make a decision from the bench either on the severance or the other motions on the 18th. And frankly, having the motion 2 business days after that, I frankly believe the court's going to need some time to ponder all of these. And I fully expect the court to probably prioritize and decide on the motion to dismiss before putting any effort into its formal decision on the other 2. So I don't have as much concern that they're close in time as the court's going to probably not rule from the bench on all of these.
All right. I've considered all of that. I do find that the 23rd is a date that works for the court, and also in terms of the order of the proceedings in the case as well. So we'll schedule the hearing on the motion to dismiss for March 23rd, and then under Rule 12D, Mr. Pryor, then that will set your deadline for the filing of a motion of March 9th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So if you'd prepare an order, Mr. Pryor, that indicates March 9th is the filing deadline for the motion and the 23rd will be the scheduled hearing on the motion.
I will do that, Judge. And may I ask, Judge, I didn't hear what time on the 23rd?
Thanks. I believe I didn't mention that. So we'll just indicate that that will start at 9:30 a.m.
All right, Judge, I will get an order out and you should anticipate getting those motions shortly.
All right. Thanks for your participation in the hearing today, both. Is there anything else we need to bring up this morning on this case, Mr. Pryor?
No, Judge, may we be excused?
Yes, Mr. Wood, anything further?
Not at this time. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thanks, counsel. We'll be in recess.
Okay. What the hell y'all think about that? Okay, Mom, wake up. You're waking up and it's
Okay.
ending. That was crazy. And it was nice.
Do we need a recap? Because I had to leave and take a call from work. So I didn't hear the whole thing.
I'm not that person. I'm not that one that could sit there and do that very well. Let me stop sharing.
Maybe
Sharing
KJ's
means-
good at this. See if KJ will do one.
Oh, thank you for the super chat. I forgot. I had turned it off on accident. And who won? We won. We won. This one.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Someone else wants to recap
For
too.
the victims.
So-
He spoke. Rob spoke for the victims, and I was like, oh, that was beautiful. Let me go grab. I'm gonna grab the link, but if I put it in chat, JJ. Oh wow, that tells you something, right? I was about to say KJ, but I said JJ instead.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
Okay, KJ said that just time.
KJ, would you like to come on? If so, I will put that in the chat for you. Just let me know.
This March?
Yeah, March. It's the same. Oh, I already forgot. It's the same as another.
Like,
Hey,
well, March, like March 2024.
Yes, yeah, right.
That one?
Kind of relevant. Not a stupid question. Eric says the second grand jury wasn't about Chad, so he's not entitled to that transcript. Booyah. Hey, Eric. Miss you, brother.
Yeah.
Go for it. All right, KJ. Here it is. And then I'll hide it.
They're stalling because the end of days have changed. Okay, this is funny. Julie Rose said this year.
Who?
Julie Rowe. Last year, she said it would be 2022.
I was like, is she in the chat? Hey, Julie.
Oh.
I was about to go crazy.
Hey, Julie, are you the one that dislikes my Julie Rowe impersonations? The first one?
All right.
A minute.
All right, let me
Okay, KJ is here.
yeah.
There she is.
Okay. Hey, girl.
Hey, just let her rip real quick.
All right, go.
Okay, well, this is what it boils down to. John Pryor has not been ready, okay? He's just not ready. And he, of course, gave his excuses. There were two things that he could have asked for, showing just cause or a negligence that was excusable under Idaho law and the rules of all of this. Well, so the judge didn't find that he had done anything that was negligent, that, you know, but he did see a cause. And what he was trying to say is that, I mean, the judge actually never said, he never said why he was going to give John Pryor the extra time, other than to say that when they received those transcripts late, that maybe that's what he was leaning toward, but he didn't actually come out and say that was the show cause. So what happened is he licked John Pryor's boots once again, because John Pryor has already John Pryor has already asked the motion to dismiss the case twice. And under the rules, you only get 28 days when your client has been indicted. So the judge has rescheduled this so that it's just a couple of days after they have that motion hearing on severing the cases. And I didn't think the judge was going to give him any leeway this time, but he did. So I'm sure he's not going to allow him to do that next time. Now, with that said, a motion to dismiss, John Pryor has got to have all his stuff together, and he's got to have it filed in his motion why he thinks his client should have his case dismissed against him. And this has to happen before a trial and not close to the trial, so that there isn't any issues on that. This is a judicial procedure. And so this will be his shot to get the case dismissed, which we all know it's never going to happen. And importantly, that most viewers on here figured it out. The Nugget, Ashley Kane, and others have said that this second grand jury was not specifically about Chad Daybell. Now, it could have been about the case, and it could have been about the players in the case, but they were not trying to indict Chad Daybell on more charges. So John Pryor does not have a right to that second grand jury. And it is my hypothesis and theory that the reason they held the grand jury the second time was to lock in these indictments on other people. And I'm thinking specifically the cult members who are going to testify in the trial, lock them in by saying, we've got these indictments in the second grand jury. And we're just telling you, you need to get up there on the stand and tell the truth, or these indictments are going to nail your ass to the wall. So that's my take.
I love it because you flew.
Yes.
Woo! I could have never done that if my life depended on it. It would not have made sense.
No.
Oh, wow. Thank you, KJ. That's very insightful. I mean, do you have a law degree somewhere back there?
Well, I mean, I minored in pre-law, but I could never be as smart as an attorney or anything like that. So I just do a lot of research. But what I'm trying to say is this. We have seen this being dragged and dragged and dragged, and I had a real hope that the judge would move this forward today. But when you take into account the severance motion, that's got to be heard anyway. And Rob Wood had brought it up. He's like, why are we going to listen to this after the severance motion? Because what if it does get severed? Then this whole situation basically is totally going to be turned into something else. And of course, John Pryor said, well, it's only a couple of days. Well, the man's had plenty of time to get his crap together. The man needs to get his, what did he say, his voluminous motion put together.
Voluminous. Mom says you're on point.
Yep.
I have a question. Okay, so like Eric was saying, nobody was indicted at second grand jury. Was nobody indicted, or was Chad Daybell not indicted?
Chad Daybell was not a specific indicted person in that second grand jury. Right. So again, John Pryor can't get a copy of that because John Pryor is Chad Daybell's attorney. With that said, this indicates to me, y'all, and I have a very strong I just have a feeling about it, that this is leverage against these cult members who are going to testify, such as Zulema or Melanie P., specifically Melanie P. I don't think she's cooperated 100%. We all know they have not been forthcoming unless they've been showed specific evidence. They will not talk about anything unless they know they got the goods on them. So this second grand jury, I feel like, is leverage for Rob Wood in the state of Idaho to say, hey, we've got these indictments. And, just because you get an indictment doesn't mean you're going to publish it. It can be leverage. What is it? There's unindicted co-conspirators and this and that. Well, this is, I really believe that there is no way that, Rob Wood and them are going to go to a second grand jury without getting something out of it. And that is indictments in order to hold over these other members of this cult's head.
Okay. I mean, that's awesome. I mean, if that's that. Um, uh, but I'm reading like Eric's comments and other people like, oh, somebody asked, wouldn't it be made public if anyone were indicted? Or
repeat that question.
Would if anybody were to be indicted with that second grand jury, would that be made public or no?
Grand jury proceedings are secret. They did give
the results.
They did get, well, the results only come out when? The results only came out in the first one when Robert Wood stepped up to the podium and said, we've got these indictments.
Okay, and like Carrie Livingston said, well, Mark Means knew about the grand jury because it's my belief too, that he's the one who leaked the info to Court TV. So the grand jury must have related to the Lori. That's very good of some. I mean,
well, they all have copies of that. Well, Mark Means, he was supposed to get it. That first grand jury, Pryor has the complete transcript of every word that came out of Zulema's mouth, Melanie P's mouth, Ian, David Warwick, all the other. He's got a complete. In this second grand jury, John Pryor would like to. He would love to get a hold of that second grand jury transcript. And Rob Wood says he's not entitled to it. You know why? Because if it is about these cult members that are going to turn state's evidence on Chad Daybell, he would like to know what they've said, even if it isn't an indictment about his own client. Do you see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
any information he can get on those people.
Yeah, it's just like football. I mean, it's like you don't want to, you want to know that playbook so you know how to play your defense or whatever.
But when they said in the hearing, when Rob Wood said he didn't have a problems telling anybody that he had a second grand jury because John Pryor says, I know Mr. Wood doesn't want to talk about it. Mm-hmm. The bottom line is that they're not going to hold a grand jury and not get something out of that. And it can it can be an indictment that has never the state and the attorney's office, they might have, there are all kinds of indictments out here, people, that sometimes never get tried, the person never gets taken to court. You see it in the paper all the time.
Like Murdahl, right?
I mean, you see it in the paper where they'll say 19 indictments come out for, say, for instance, insurance fraud or something like that. But then you might only have one or two out of all of those. And it's all about really, I mean, trust me when I say the state of Idaho cannot and should not trust a word that comes out of Melanie Gibbs' mouth, Melanie P, Zulema and them, but they can curtail their testimony. Rob Wood can curtail his questions that he would ask them on the stand at Chad and Lori's trial to kind of minimize anything. But just as I said last night, Chad Daybell has sat down with John Pryor and told him what Zulema and all them know. Anyone that wants to tell me that, no, Chad Daybell wouldn't tell John Pryor that because it would make him look more guilty, folks, this is death sentence stuff. And Chad Daybell's going to spill his guts about anything and everything he knows. And then you've got on the other end of that, the prosecutor and the state of Idaho and these state's witnesses. They are piss poor witnesses. I don't, it's just beyond me that John Pryor, and I think John Pryor is a pretty good dang attorney, even though there's some of the things he does. He's pretty darn good, and he's going to know what to ask them. And credibility is on the line. It's the only thing he's got when you have evidence that's staring a jury member in the face. The only thing he can do is shoot down the credibility of these damn cult members.
Yeah. And again, they don't have much to work with there. in my opinion. This is twice I've seen this question. Is the second grand jury the same as the first, or can some of the witnesses or whatever testify?
Well, we got a list of the first grand jury list. You remember that? We all got to see who was going to be there. Now, with that said, that first list, it doesn't necessarily mean that all of them were going to testify.
Mom, did you get one?
We don't know how they testified. For instance, for example, Melanie P could have came there and only wanted to answer what she wanted, that she felt comfortable to answer, and could have pled the fifth on the other ones. We don't know, which makes it seem interesting to me that they would have a second grand jury. But in terms of the second one being the same as the first one, obviously, folks, this is about Chad and Lori Daybell, not to indict them a second time in another grand jury proceeding, but it has to do with this case. And they could have some of the same witnesses. It could have totally different witnesses that we don't even know about. This could be about stuff that the law enforcement uncovered. This could be something like, I believe it's leverage over these states' witnesses that have turned state's evidence. I think that's what it is, to kind of keep them in check, keep them in line, knowing that if they don't testify to what is going to help the state put Chad and Lori under the jail, then they're going to be I mean, it's legal. It's legal to do. You can do that. You can hold that over someone's head. And John Pryor will be right there, and he will talk about anything from, hey, Zulema, you've got use immunity, and that means you're going to get out of trouble, so you'll say anything just to get yourself out of trouble. And he's going to do everything that a defense attorney should do anyway. That's my view.
I agree. I mean, that's what I would want. That's for sure. Wow. It's just, I didn't think today was much of nothing.
I think it was significant, and I really hate it for you and your family. All of y'all. Kresha, I would love to. The optimum thing for me today would have been the judge to put his foot down and say, you know what, John Pryor, you've had the time according to the rules, but they always give a judge a way out, and he gave him a little bit more time. And the bottom line is after that motion to dismiss is heard, because it will get heard, John Pryor has no more excuses unless he comes down with COVID, which he probably.
Oh God, don't even enter that into the universe.
Right. I probably shouldn't have said that. But anyway, then you've got the severance of the cases. And folks, y'all not going to want to hear this. But do you think that Lori's going to become competent before this severance hearing? The odds of that are slim to none, not because she's not competent, but because this is defense strategy. And the biggest win for this case would be to sever Chad and Lori's cases. Period. End of sentence.
Gotcha. That makes a lot of sense.
How do you guys feel about that, though? Because, like, if you sever, that's two people that you guys are going to be going back and forth.
And maybe more. Hopefully more. You know what? Whatever. And I appreciate that, KJ, but it's like all we have is time. That's all we have left, right? And
I want whatever the family wants. If the family's comfortable with anything, that's what I know everyone on here could probably agree with that. I can't speak for everyone on here, but they want the family to be okay and at peace with whatever's going on through this adjudication process.
Right.
Yeah. And that's what I've always thought, because when we've talked about it, and we talked about the death penalty, and I was like, normally, because fiscally, not because I don't think people are dirtbags and don't deserve shit, but fiscally, I'm not a fan.
Just being a realist, yeah.
Because that's how I think of everything, so that I don't have to deal with emotions. But I strongly believe the family should get to be involved in that decision-making process, because that, to me, it's like you guys have no control over anything
Mm-mm.
That's gotta drive you crazy sometimes because
mean,
it's like,
it doesn't and it doesn't because I also don't have any control over anything.
yeah.
So I mean, it's like it's out of my hands. It's out of all of our hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Bethy Boop. You know, it would take too much of a toll on the family victim. Yes. I mean, but I mean, I'm in it to win it. Like, I
I mean, I know that
I can't speak from anybody else in my family or anything like that.
I wish
I know that severance would not be good.
yeah.
I mainly just want to see both them have to look at each other during the damn trial. I want those shields instead of masks. I want to see their damn faces. I want to see all their faces.
I want head wounds from trying to walk into walls, make them crumble. That's what I want.
Maureen Walsh says a great thing here that kind of helps me to feel better. Maureen Walsh says it's a year away till trial. Let Pryor try his best in delaying tactics. It won't delay the trial. And Maureen, no truer words can be spoken. The judge has made that deadline. That's how it's going to be. But then again, just remember this. He can't keep delaying this dismissal because it cannot run up against the trial. So, yes, he will try. But Maureen Walsh, good point.
Awesome. I'm glad you found that comment too. I was looking for it.
I know they've been going fast today. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to do like 10 things at once, which
Thanks
is not.
for the super chats, guys. I didn't get to say it earlier. I'm sorry. Thank you. I'm just trying to read the comments here. KJ's good at the comments. I'm not.
The language of horses says, I think if they sever, it means Chad will flip on Lori. Well, language of horses, you know my opinion. Does anybody want to believe a damn word that man says? Does anyone want to believe a damn word Lori says?
Nope.
So this whole idea of one of them throwing the other one under the bus, what are they going to go on the stand and actually have jury members believe a damn word they say? I don't think so.
I mean, they won't testify.
No,
that would be judicial suicide.
Yeah, they usually don't
usually don't
them testify.
Like when Jodi Arias, KJ, since you were on that one, when she took the stand, what did you think about that? Like, I don't know if it's in comparison. I'm not really in a court.
Let me tell you what, Rob Wood, the only way he got through Chad's preliminary hearing with Melanie Gibb and David Warwick was he chiseled down what it was. It wasn't like he was going to ask her everything in the world because he knew whatever he asked her, John Pryor, that would open the door for John Pryor to ask those things. So Rob Wood had to curtail what he asked Melanie Gibb and David Warwick. And again, we're talking serious roll of the dice and credibility when you got cult members going on there to bat for the state of Idaho. And Mark McGarry says, I want to point out how well-spoken Wood, in fact, was. Every point, hard-hitting and seeking justice. And Rob Wood was very, very clear today.
Yes. Big time. Thank you, Mark. I mean, and it's true. That's so very well stated. And I felt that too. If y'all hear snoring, it's Jason. He don't feel good at all.
Yeah.
And then you got Miss Kay Woodcock saying, it is what it is, and there's nothing we cannot handle. And I believe that because y'all are a strong, resilient family.
That's because that, and it's because we have all of y'all, I swear. I know I wouldn't, if this was not public, I would not. I'd be like, what's this mean? Well, you know, I like this. I like this because it helps me to understand the process. Yeah. Oh, wow. Well, I mean, so Mom, are you okay with, like, you know, severance and, you know, multiple trials to go to?
Wait, is that the one? Preferred trials, Rand.
Oh, okay. My bad. I even just posted it. The first part of your stuff, Mom, always.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I mean, and that's true. That's kind of what I've been saying too. I just can't speak for them, I try to, but I mean, it's just weird. It's weird, and this is something that we've never been through. None of us. Nobody. So this is all brand new for us. This is crazy.
I want to make 2 points here. Number one, Chad Daybell wasn't there today. Thank God we didn't have to see that big chin.
Yeah.
And number two, there is no doubt that Lori was able to watch these hearing proceedings today.
I hope she's watching it here.
I don't think the mental health facility would let her, because I think she'd lose her mind knowing exactly what we think.
Oh, right. Oh my God.
She couldn't stand it. She couldn't stand it if people didn't think she was some goddess.
What would you say, KJ, if she were right here, right now?
I would say, stop your malingering, take your medicine. You dished it out. You need to take it. You need to face the music, and you need to look up the definition of allocution. Allocution in a judicial sense, that means that she's going to stand up there, she's going to plead guilty, and she's going to tell exactly what happened. Although we all know we can't trust a damn word that comes out of her mouth.
Right. Oh, yeah, no. Nope. Nope. I like it. I do. Oh, wow. Yeah. Thanks, too many feathers. Exactly.
I'm getting emotional and I don't like it.
Oh, don't.
Hell, Mom.
I know. The other morning, I don't know. I was in the shower and I just started crying.
Oh,
I don't know why. I'm like,
it's called release, darling.
It's called hormones too.
I definitely released in there.
It's nice to release. I like crying.
It does after, unless like sometimes I'll get a migraine after I do. But it is like, if there's one thing, I have become more emotionally mature and not as like, the way I deal with stuff or have dealt with stuff in the past is very much like I said, I want to think about things fiscally, and I want to
logically. Yeah.
It's really hard for me to even why am I echoing?
You're not here.
Oh, I thought I was.
Made you forget what you were talking about.
I don't know how to put it, but I like to stay away from emotion. That's just the way I was not only raised, but that's how I survived. And that's when I start to think about Tylee. My damn bird. Hold on. Does anyone want a Senegal parrot? Because you can have him.
I want him.
You can have him.
Throw him out the window and tell him to come fly on down here.
We've gotten in fights about him. It's not mine.
Well, let me tell you something. Crying is a very good thing, folks.
It is. It is a pressure relief valve.
It is good. Too much of anything could cause us, there could be a red flag there. But if you're talking about, say, crying once a day or even more than once a day, it depends on the feeling of it. Is it relieving, or is it making things worse?
Or is it
people know their own bodies.
Right. I've always been a highly emotional person. I used to, people, when I was little, everybody would say that I pouted. I was a pouter. And maybe I was. I just got my feelings hurt easily. I didn't really know how to channel it then. Still wondering. Yeah, compartmentalize. Yeah. Big time.
Yeah.
But I'm embracing the fact that I am an emotional person, and that is a good thing. It's not negative. It's I love it. I love that about myself.
Well, this year I'm going to try. You know, I'm a lay person here. I don't, you know, I just can only give my perspective, but I hope everybody does know that I'm going to try to go through the emotions this year, not from a psychiatric or any kind of way like that. Just everyday person.
Yeah.
You know, just do give the accurate definitions. And like, for instance, we've been going over fear all this month. Well, fear is created and manufactured by us. And I didn't know that. I learned that myself. It wasn't something, oh, I know all this knowledge and I'm going to teach you. No, I'm learning this as I go along, and people are educating me as well.
Right. It's a learning process. We're learning all this together. By the time we're done,
Yeah.
holy crap, we'll be some legal. Oh, well, Jason just might as well go get just take his damn bar exam.
Yeah.
Way.
He needs to be a master chef, from what I understand. I hear he can make some gumbo.
He does it all.
Man, you're so lucky.
I am blessed, is what it is. But trust me, I kissed a lot of toads. Holy crap.
Oh, you said toes.
No, toads.
I was like, I don't know.
None like Chad, though, I gotta say.
We talk about a lot of stuff. But
I don't
So
know.
where do we go from here if we want to look at what has happened today? We're looking toward March. We're looking at other motions to sever, motion to dismiss. We're looking to see if for some snowball's chance in hell that Lori will become competent before then. And I was noticing on the comments earlier about people saying whether or not she's not taking her medication, whether she's being forced. Someone said the judge hasn't ruled on whether she should take medicine. Well, all that would be under seal, so nobody really knows.
I mean, the thing is like, I have family that works in a facility here which would be similar to the facility that Lori is in, and those orders are not hard to get to force meds. They're not hard to get. Like, typically you go in front of the judge and the judge is like, okay, well, they're not going to take their meds. And I would imagine in this case that they would, like, if you think about it, like, Idaho's got a huge spotlight on it. Yes. And I think that's why the judge has been so careful, because they can't screw this up. Like,
I didn't mean too careful in that sense. I meant too careful. He's too nice.
He is really kind of,
but whatever.
You're just hoping in there's something in there that, like, and I think there is. I think he's and that really back, and but
he seemed to fire off a little bit. He was a little sassy, and I'm very proud of you, Judge Boyce.
Let's go, buddy. Let's see more of that. You release emotion, buddy.
It's your damn show. Yeah, you may be excused when I tell you. He did that again, and I want Boyce to be like, no, you can leave after we're done. And you may exit.
So
I don't know.
I know crocheting Bambi. I always feel like Idaho is like Utah's little sister. And so because they're similar in a lot of ways. But I do worry, but I also think that there's, like I said, they can't. That's why I'm wondering if things are taking so long. I mean, I think that there are multiple things.
Oh yeah.
What I think too, I was thinking about this the other day, and we're not going to get into all politicky. Okay, I just want you to think about it in this case.
Okay.
All right. So nobody get politicky. No one's going to fight. Everyone's going to just be nice.
So I'll fight.
I do not think if Lori were not blonde and, I do not think that they would be being this patient.
If she looked like Eileen War.
Yeah. If she looked like that, if she were a person of color, if she were, like unattractive.
I agree.
Because if you think about it.
Well, Chad, he ain't got a dog in the fight then.
Yeah. when we look at the
ugly.
I mean, I'm sorry. I think that, and True Crime Sushi said this the other day, and I totally agree that not only did he worked at the state hospital. That must have been fun. But she said it the other day. She said, Lori not only used her sexuality with men, but she did with women. And like, I'm like, yeah, because if you think like Mel G and like, well, I get other vibes from Mel G, but
And
like,
Mel
the way
P.
she was, the way Zulema was, I think she did kind of do that, but I don't think she was necessarily watching just because that got them in so much attention.
No, they are. She is.
Maybe she's entitled to.
He said so. The last hearing, he was like, "My client's watching," and I'm like, "How do you know you haven't talked to her?" That's what I was thinking.
He's, yeah. I mean, they might have to because of her constitutional rights, but at this point, she's in the custody of the state of Idaho.
Her parents.
So that's where I get confused, and maybe I need to read more into that. But it's just, and Robbie's talking about, so Utah has their state hospital is in Provo, and there's a high population of criminally insane, like the lady that went to the Triad Center and tried to like blow up a news station, like she's in there. And I've seen people go there from another facility. And it's not, if you go to a state hospital, and I would imagine Idaho is similar or other states are similar, you're not going to get leeway. And so that's why I'm like, why are we, is she just able to, I'm like, do they feel bad for her? Honestly, like, has she been able to get them to feel bad for her? Like, is that even, that would blow my mind. I was sitting next to my son in the car today. I was taking him to school and I was talking because I was listening to your one from yesterday on replay. And, I was like, I just can't wrap my mind around a mother like that. And I said, I want to see them. And then he did his little thing because he's on the spectrum. I said, I just want to see him stay there. And he's like, well, they thought Alcatraz was foolproof. And I was like, thanks for your optimism.
Oh.
And he also, whenever he sees you come on the car on the Bluetooth, because it will come on difficult research, he's always like, difficult.
Tell this is that. Thank you, and tell him I love him.
Yeah,
and
so,
man,
like,
that's exactly what it was meant to be. That was the whole part.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Wow. I haven't been reading comments though. I was putting on.
So, I almost put you in timeout, girl.
Oh. It's a delay. Like you'll go to hit something and then you're like, oh.
Yeah. She did deal with them.
She did. Yes. And I mean, that's kind of the thing. Just like when you see these people come up missing, what makes it to media and what doesn't. We were lucky that it had just all this damn drama. I mean, I guess,
Yeah.
It's like a lottery. Who gets picked, and it's usually the white, female, beautiful. Just I don't know. But that's where we can all make a difference. That is one place where we can all make a difference, and just at least pick. There's bazillion. There are so many missing people. There's so many cases that are still open from 1902 and further, and beyond. But I mean, just I don't know.
I see, and that's why I want to talk about advocacy a little bit, because, and just in general, like when you guys are seeing bills go through your state, or when you hear of a bill, you got to call you got to get involved. You got to make your lawmakers work for you because you pay taxes and they are employed by you. And
You vote them in, right?
yeah, and you
So
know,
there,
they work for you. They work for you. And so I tell everybody, like, because people think they're like these untouchable figures, and it's like, no. And trust me, I'm very smart. And they actually do want to hear from their constituents. And if you're nice, and be nice, and even if you disagree with them, you know, be nice about explaining it. Most of them are reasonable.
Right.
They will talk to you. Hopefully.
I'm paying them.
You might have to call them a few times. I mean, there are times when I'll text one and I'll be like, did you get my text?
Call them all on YouTube. Be like, oh, you're not answering? Oh.
Yeah. I'll call, text, email. Not so much anymore because I really can't do a lot of things.
So just try every resource.
Yeah. If you think of something and you're like, why don't we have a 988 number? Why don't we train our police officers in mental health? And I'm not saying it always works, and there's been studies saying it actually doesn't.
Why not ask?
But why not? I mean, everyone here is so you're so interested in this case. You're so interested in getting justice.
Yeah.
And I'm just a big person. Like I always tell people, vote. I don't care how you vote. Vote. Get involved. Because no matter what, it's a citizen's voice.
I got you.
It's a citizen's voice.
And so it may not be something that we're interested in, because I've never been interested in politics whatsoever. I'm like, what's a liberal? What's a Democrat? I don't know the terminology. I just know how I feel.
Yeah.
And I know it's right. I know it's wrong. And then I'm just like, whatever. If he's saying something I like, I'm like, okay, I can go for that. I was watching a video last night and I was like, okay, I get that.
You know, honestly, there's policy and then there's politics. And policy, they're policymakers. And politics is kind of what the media says. Like if you go up on the Hill, I mean, you think, oh, they hate each other. They're fighting all the time, blah, blah, blah. They're not. No. They're usually like, hey, you didn't go to the Hill. That kind of sucks. And
going to have cigars at the golf club later, you know? I mean, at the whatever country club. That's what I think.
Yeah, they are all a little narcissistic. I think you have to be in politics. I think to be able to think like I'm going to run for office because I know so much. Like I think you have.
I don't follow me.
Yeah, like I feel like every single one of them has a little bit of like narcissism. You know, I can make changes because I am a state senator, and maybe they can. Typically, there's usually like,
hey Marie.
It is, I guess it is politics, but I'm just like a big person. I will always nag you guys to vote and always nag you to contact your reps because that's the way, even if it doesn't seem like we make progress, it really does. It just takes long. Policy is so slow. Like I was talking to Kresh about this once and I was like, it's so slow. You think it's not moving. You're like, you know, we're not making any progress. And it takes time. Like it takes years. But
it's just you sitting there with, you know, like, oh my God, what's the word? Like a, you know, oh my God, tongue tied, like a rock bed, you know, in a river. You just steadily have to, I don't have a good analogy right now. You just have to keep pressing it.
Yeah. Tracy Schuler, sorry you have to go, but yes, watch that PBS documentary, Shots Fired. I learned a lot and a lot of things made sense to me after that.
Is it more militarized? Because that's what I feel.
Yeah.
It's more militarized with all the people coming back from the war and everything. Yes. And so they fall into that I mean, what else what else? That or security guard or be a cop or whatever, so that their options are very limited. They have CPTSD and all these emotional triggers and stuff like that. And I think it's a problem to be militarized like that. I have gotten pulled over and talked to like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And then I watch these things where they're, I call it not interrogation or anything, but like what they're doing. They just sit there and like, I just wait for them to go in and offer them candies and coffee and want me to rub your feet. Just they're so nice. And I'm just like, oh my God.
Oh,
Can y'all put some pressure on these damn people?
I just watch Shots Fired because it definitely made me go, okay, I see why stuff is done. I see why this happens. And it's crazy because they come up with they talk about training. I mean, they're really just talking about training, and you go, whoa, yes, I actually have the Constitution. Well, I have the thing with like all of I have a big thick book. And yeah, I think you can get those for free. Actually, I think you can.
I want that and my Book of Mormon. Actually, I got one online.
Yeah, mine's downstairs, but yeah, read them. And I would say make sure you know how to interpret them, because a lot of people don't interpret them, especially the First Amendment. Just going to say that. Government can shut down your speech, not private company.
That could be as I'm watching this, as I'm living this, I'm seeing exactly how that line, Amendment 1, is blurred. I mean, it just is very, and that's why these people in these prepper groups, go watch the Preparing a People fireside chat I have in my videos. It is with Jason Mao. It's got Thor. It's got Sean Littlebear, Mike and Nancy James, Dean Sessions. It's got Pamela Overshaw, Romney Overshaw. She is like on point with the Constitution. And so I just make that, it's very, and I mean, this is just a connection that I've made, because I started knowing nothing. Just a clean slate. I don't know anything about this religion. I don't know anything, whatever. And I'm glad. I'm so glad. I've gone through such a journey.
I don't think she knows.
Huh?
I think she knows what she wants to know about it.
Who?
Pamela Openshaw?
Yeah, no, I mean, she's Mitt Romney's sister. And she's like all into the Constitution. She's got like a website. Just go watch that, y'all.
I know. I know. I know how she interprets it. Like, I know who she is.
And so I feel like they know how to ride this. They know how to play this, because that goes hand in hand. From what I have observed, in my opinion, it goes hand in hand with the Book of Mormon. Like, I don't know, but there's a lot of these people who quote all these, the presidents and I've just never seen that before. That pattern.
An argument. When you have an argument, you quote someone else. That's the way I feel.
And I'm just like, what? I mean, but it's all to do with politics. Look at Tim Ballard, the Lincoln thing, and just reiterating the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And that's, anyways. So it's politics, it's religion.
Shouldn't have brought it up. My bad.
Well, I mean, it's good, and it's real, and it's relevant, and from my perspective, where I sit right now, it plays hand in hand. And so these people, birds of a feather flock together. They know how to blur lines. Look at Barry Cox pushing the envelopes. not any of the payments to the IRS, but but then again, does he owe the IRS now?
But here's the thing. Pamela Openshaw would say that I don't deserve civil rights.
I don't care.
I
I say, okay.
care if I have civil rights.
I don't care what she says. She can.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way she would interpret it.
Man, that's her.
Yeah, she would interpret
That's
it
right.
that way.
I remember when I was ignorant. No.
I like Mitt Romney. Actually, I disagree with him, but I do like him. I probably shouldn't have brought it.
I mean, it's not about it's just it's a generality. It's just not to go into it, or you know what I mean, not in depth or anything. I just want to was John Hart the singer? I'm sorry. Your grandpa was John Hart, the singer of the Declaration of Independence. Wow.
I have Charles Carroll of Carrollton.
That is crazy. That's neat, Rebirth.
Supposedly, and that's what my mom said. I haven't looked it up on genealogy, but supposedly I'm related to Charles Carroll of Carrollton and Sitting Bull.
And Marie.
He's lying about one thing. And Marie
Burks. She said my great grandpa was John Hart, the singer of the Declaration.
Yeah, that's awesome. So.
Oh, you're talking about me.
No.
I don't know.
He signed the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah. Who is Pamela Openshaw? She's with Pamela Whitney Openshaw. She's Mitt Romney's sister, and she is so up into the into this group, this particular small group. Jason Mao. I mean, they're sitting at this fireside talking politics, religion, and warrior.
Talking about how I shouldn't have any civil rights. Just saying.
I mean, and so I'm talking. This isn't just. I'm not saying that Pamela is in. Just fits a profile or anything, but she fits Lori. They're in the same group, is what I'm saying. But Pamela, to answer your question the long way, I don't know. I didn't run out of air. She's, I guess, a big Constitution buff.
A strict constitutionalist. And that's
coming from that family. I guess so. I mean, and whatever. That's to each their own. But my thing is, I focus on people that are directly affiliated, associated, dealt with, prayed with, fireside chatted with, went to temple with. That's who I'm looking at.
Yeah.
And been looking at and will not stop looking at until this stuff is busted up. And it does tie into DesNet. I've researched a little further, Jen. So
yeah,
I'm like, holy crap. Wow. And it's real. And I'm going to tell you how it's real. That's why every single one of you are here right now. That's why I'm here right now. It's real. We're here because there are victims.
Robbie asked me a question. So it wasn't decriminalized. It was changed regarding minor. Okay, here's the thing. Nobody's ever been prosecuted for polygamy in Utah. It doesn't matter who's the governor. I mean, Short Creek happened. I think it's Short Creek. I have a migraine right now, so I might not get my words right.
I'm getting one. No.
Nobody's ever, when the Browns, all of those, they were scared. Remember TLC? They had one season. They're like, we have to move out of Utah because it's scary. Bullshit. I went to school with polygamous kids. Nobody prosecutes them. And that's just been in the history of Utah. You want to know why? Because there are lawmakers that are polygamous.
Well, I mean, they're everywhere. I mean, they're in Arizona. They're everywhere. It's
and you know what? If you are 5 consenting adults and you are healthy parents and raise healthy, I actually don't have a problem with it. If it's
I don't either.
If it's, not just like
Healthy or just too
if
too
you're wearing
extreme.
a fairy
Please.
dress, I have issues.
Too
If
much
you're
of
16
it.
and you're pregnant with like your 5th child from like your 40-year-old cousin who's like chosen as your spouse, I have a problem with that. You were also talking about Romney.
I have a problem with murder.
The cartels. So, yeah, there are Romneys there.
Well, I mean,
that was the LeBaron family that was killed by the cartel, though.
Yeah, and that's right there. But it's Mexico. It's all birds of a feather flock together.
But Romney's
These
history,
extremists,
they were polygamists, and they did flee to Mexico. So Romney is from polygamist. So am I.
Would you say he's you're a polygamist?
Well, I'm from polygamous. Like that's his ancestry. It's my ancestry too.
True. Oh, I was gonna ask
something about him being polygamous.
I mean, would you say that like he's borderline? I mean, just if you had to just guess, is Mitt Romney like borderline offshoot or extreme fringes?
I think he's probably pretty moderate. I think he doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, and that's just common. And you know what? I can't say anything negative about that part of Mormonism. I mean,
no, I can't either.
It
does have there's a lot of beauty in it. There's a lot of good. There's a lot of stuff that.
And Robbie says cousins, and probably because we're all related. Like I'm related to the Levitts and the Huntsmans because of the polygamy.
We're related to Adam and Eve. So
I wish I was rich like them, but no.
One day.
I
do want to share with y'all that for the first time, I was watching, not for the first time, but I was watching Mormon discussions last night, and they unveiled Mavis, who, anyways, Mormon discussions is Bill Reel, and I don't know Radio Mormon. And so, it's just one of these shows that I've kept up with, I've watched, because I'm like, I don't even know, are they Mormon? Are they not Mormon? Or I just learn, and I don't judge. I don't care. I just want to learn. And I have thrown myself in chat. I have, just like what Mormon Story, what is it? John Dillon?
Mormon Stories, John Dillon.
Okay. I have asked, begged, acknowledge me, something, they wouldn't touch me. They would not even acknowledge me in chat. Nobody would until last night.
They did?
I'm in there like swimwear, babe. And it was I cried because I was just like, oh my God, for 2 years, I have been silenced. I have not had a voice. Like I'm not cool enough to be in your little clique, or treated as just a damn human being. I'm a human being. I don't give a shit what religion you're in. Can we just agree that we're in a human race? We co-inhabit this planet. That's my thing. It does not have to be a Mormon thing, a Catholic thing, a Jerry Springer thing. I mean, nothing. It's not a label. It's just like, can you treat me with the same respect? I'm not asking for or pointing fingers or just, I'm just looking for, I'm looking for acknowledgement.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for other places in this spectrum of Mormonism, where they will speak about this. How can we change it? Let's talk about the victims. Let's recognize that they're not the first and they're not going to be the last. And so let's recognize that. Please, as humans, as a human.
Why is it so? Because I think about this, because, yeah, Robbie, I don't think he ever passed pledge. If he did, it would be a long time ago because he wasn't a Utah. I mean, there's Ronnie's and I'll look into it.
I agree.
Do you think, so I was thinking about this. So do you think if Lori was Catholic or evangelical,
or any other religion,
do you think people in those religions would be as defensive?
Nope.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I really don't think so.
And that comes from, I think, pioneer days.
And this comes from, what's the term? Come on, we've used it before. Because they had to hide everything.
Persecution. They have a persecution complex.
Yeah. Right. That is very, very, very present. It is very, It's real. It's a real thing. And I guess by acknowledging me, they're maybe having to accept the fact they'd have to acknowledge that that's happening, right? Whether they're true blue Mormon, ex-Mo, I'm a never Mo, but I'm here. I'm a human. I'm in this human race. Black, white, Puerto Rican. I mean, let's see. I'm too tongue-tied to go through the whole list of everybody's backgrounds. But I mean, that's how I look at things. It just should be beyond gender, beyond race, beyond, just treat me as a human. Treat me as you'd want me to treat you. And that's,
and hold the people accountable that are responsible. Like, that's where I get irritated. I'm like, hold them responsible. They make your religion look bad. I know a lot of clearly I know a lot of Mormons.
You do.
Yeah, I know, crazy. And there's a big push and pull right now. There is. There's very much extremes in the church. There are people that are
walking away.
Progressive. They want to see more progressive. And then there are people that are like, what are you doing? This isn't Mormonism. You're supposed to be sticking to Joseph Smith and Brigham Young. What
like, who are they?
And so they're leaving because they're like, this isn't the faith that I grew up in. And it's not. Someone that's 10 years younger, like even what's that podcast we like? And one of them is Mormon. Brittany. No, it's not a Mormon one. Her name is Brittany. And We Saw the Devil. Is it We Saw the Devil?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
Brittany, We Saw the Devil. I love.
Even, and I don't know how old she is, but even like when I listen, her experience compared to mine,
yeah,
I'm like, oh, it's a different experience.
But she left for the same reason. Or not, she didn't. Yeah, I mean, kind of.
Yeah.
Whatever. I mean, but then again, that's for your experience. That's her experience. And everybody has their own experience, including myself, including JJ and Tylee and Tammy and Lori and Chad and Joe and Charles. I mean, we all walk in different shoes, and nobody knows you like you know you. And
I know you like you know you.
And like AJ says, you're the only you're ever going to be.
Yeah.
And I'm just now embracing this. I really am. And I'm going to continue because I like it. And I will get better. with describing things and polishing my just right now my brain is so traumatized. It's
You have a
traumatized.
lot going on.
And I've got to be easy on myself. And we all need to be easier on ourselves. I mean, just give yourself a little break and pat yourself on the back. And go look in the mirror and high five yourself and say, I'm freaking awesome.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we're here. I'm ready. I just want to make a difference. I used to things just didn't bother me, or things bothered me, but I never did anything about them.
Right.
Or it was just something so little. But this shook me. It awakened me. I got woke, like I say. Oh God, right? Boston Girl 76. 176. Oh, I mean, yeah. Yes. Thank you, Chad. Thank you, Lori. And I'm flipping the birds, okay, right now.
Yeah.
I mean, they put us in the most difficult relationship. Well,
So you had to research.
I mean, it's just, oh my God, this is crazy. And I mean, all I'm doing is just trying to figure it out and just being educated and not ignorant. I'm just trying to not be ignorant. That's all.
Yeah.
And so if me asking questions or me talking about, in these chat rooms or whatever, or like on Mormon Stories podcast, Mormon discussions. I'm sorry. I get them confused because they all say Mormon. Anyways.
Well, they're all, I mean, I think
Yeah.
Bill and Radio Free Mormon are a little more fun to watch.
They are.
A little more willing to. I feel like John Dehlin has gotten really, like he got really upset when he got X'd. And now, like the last few times I've watched him, like, did you go back? Like, did you get baptized? Because I'm like, you're so, like, he will, in my opinion, the last few times he's gone out of his way to like defend, to like challenge people. And the thing is like these people have real life experiences. They have real trauma. And then he kind of has devalued that a little, and that I'm not for that. If someone wants to talk about their trauma, whatever you're
giving them their platform, right?
Yes. You should not be policed. Trauma victims should never be policed.
We get it enough.
Yeah. I mean, God, you get it. Like everyone's.
No, I'm just as a coming from that mentality, Yeah. I mean, if you're providing somebody a platform in which to tell their story, let them tell it. Don't censor them. Nobody gets to tell you how to grieve. Damn it.
That's true.
Nobody gets to tell you your worth.
You don't get to tell. Those are my rules.
And you don't get to do it to nobody else. Bullies.
You don't silence trauma victims. Ever.
Anybody. You
don't silence victims of SA or survivors, really, I guess is what they're called. You don't, one of the things, I'm just going to say it, is you get a lot of, well, why aren't you talking about Joe? Why aren't you talking about Tammy?
Oh, I get that all the time. I'm like,
does talk about them. And here's the thing.
Just know that's like a
discussion advocating for them too.
And they have families too, but I don't care. I don't care. Why can't it be all? Why can't we all be advocating for each other's families?
Yeah, it can. But
who is anybody going after the Daybell'S side of the family and saying, why aren't you advocating for Charles, Tylee, JJ? Are they? Does anybody say that?
Not that I know.
No, nobody even says their damn names. And it's that I'm just like, whatever. I don't care. However, when you flip it, you're just like, wait a minute though. Okay. Or whomever is saying these things, are you even listening to yourself?
Well, and the thing is like if you put yourself in another family's shoes, Like, because that's why I try to think. And
Yeah.
here's the thing, Chad's kids believe him. All right. They think he's like this. They think their dad is just super dumb and fell for it. And that's not the way we feel clearly. So if they were to watch, like, this is why I don't mention, why I'm kind of careful. If they were to watch, and let's say Kresh made a bunch of bracelets for Tammy or wanted to do, and by the way, Tammy has a foundation. Her family did start a foundation.
And y'all, I need to start being, I have my own Patreon now and everything, and I don't even know the link.
Yeah. And I would be pissed. I would be pissed. I'd be like, what are you doing talking about my mom? You're not allowed to talk about my mom.
Right. It's boundaries. I don't want to overstep boundaries.
And that's how
but they can't
I
take
feel.
the voice away.
I have a real, like, Annie is Joe's advocate, and I love her channel, and she's very analytical, and I wouldn't want to take that away from her because that's her platform. So
Right.
there has to be, like, you can advocate for them, but let Annie do what Annie wants to.
Right.
Like, and be her voice, be the voice for her brother. And clearly he went through a lot of, I have a ton of empathy.
Yeah.
But
But
Chris should advocate for.
I mean, I want everybody in here. I'm sorry.
And she does advocate for them, but that's just the way I feel.
But they wouldn't even have anything to advocate for had they not exhumed her body. Right. I'm just saying, this is God. This is, in my opinion, this is God. And this is how he works. And then he uses us as vessels. And so they may not be in the place where they're just not accepting right now. And
maybe they will.
And I pray they will. And
maybe it'll hit trial and they'll be like,
I won't give up on them because that's half her kids. That's half of her.
Yeah.
And so there's half good in them for sure. And I don't want them to hurt. I don't want to hurt either.
Right.
So it's going to play out however it's going to play out. And I don't mind. I love advocating for all of them. And I will continue until somebody tells me something. I've decided that lately. I'm just like, you know what? Screw it. Yeah. Annie has advocated, and I'm sure she still does. We grieve in our own way. This is my way. I'm being more vocal.
I say so much shit that I say so much shit that I wouldn't feel right talking about. Because I was telling my family, I'm like, well, I'm kind of bitchy. I'm actually surprised I have subscribers. I just say what
you
I
just
do.
have all the bitchy subscribers.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the same, like with Joe, like, I'm going to be honest. It's a difficult thing for me because of Colby. And I know, and as a victim, as someone who knows fellow victims, it's really hard for me. It doesn't mean that I don't feel empathy. It doesn't mean that I believe any less.
Yeah. I still hashtag. I still, trust me, I hashtag. I didn't know what hashtag was. I didn't know that you clicked it and it went all kinds of places.
Yeah. But I mean, also, so yeah, I feel like if that's what Colby says, I can't, I just have to stay away from it.
Right. You don't have to agree with it. Okay. But, and nor do I, because everybody grieves in their own way, and we don't get to tell anybody how they grieve or how to feel or shame them for how they feel.
Yeah.
I mean, people do it to me, and I'm just like, are you off your rocker right now?
Yeah. But then I was like, well, I talk shit about his mom all the time. Like, he probably doesn't like that.
But it's not bad. Oh, I thought you meant Tammy. Never mind.
No. Like, I kind of thought, oh, I'm being hypocritical because I think it's because of the type of abuse.
I mean, but that's reality for him and us also.
Right.
I mean,
That's his
so
reality.
I mean, I don't want to sugarcoat anything either, and I don't. It is what it is, and we didn't do it, so we don't have to tiptoe. I'm not going to tiptoe anymore. I have tiptoed, and I'm going to be respectful because that's just who the hell I am. But I'm I'm gaining a lot of confidence.
I know. I love watching it.
Ah,
I love watching it.
I'm starting to see it, and I'm just like, God damn it. You know? Oh my God. I have grown.
A lot.
And I see, I mean, everybody's been telling me all this, and I'm just like, I have not had time, first off, to even stop and reflect on myself, my own thoughts. No, that's robbed also. That's robbed. But here lately, I mean, I've just, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
But just lately, I have just kind of caught some glimpses, and I'm like, whoa. Okay, acknowledge it. You know, I'm telling myself to acknowledge it, and that it's okay. Embrace it. And oh my God, at this rate, watch out.
Yeah, I mean, it was always within you. It always was you.
Yeah.
It's just needed. It's too bad.
Coercion. It needed coercion, reassurance, and love and empathy and safety and just it needed every one of you. I love every one of you. And y'all are part of my healing process. Y'all are part of so much of my journey. And I appreciate that. I love y'all for that. And thank you. I just want to thank y'all. And I want to thank you too, Jen, because I'm not.
You do it all the time, and I don't deserve.
Yeah, you do. Take it. You're welcome, Kresha.
I know I'm really bad. When you text me stuff, I'm always like, I don't know how to respond.
Don't.
Because I feel like if I'm like, thanks, I know I'm incredible. Like I'm just a normal person.
Me too. I say the same thing, and they were like, "But you're," and I'm like, "Whatever." So, okay, we're having a reflection right now. Okay.
Yeah.
So whatever you say bounces off me and comes back to you. Rubber glue. So you're incredible. You're incredible. You're incredible. You're incredible. We can go. I put a lot of comments in here, so we can go on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing.
I'm glad I messaged you back after you emailed me.
I know, right?
I sat on that thing.
I was like, oh my God, you cracked me up. Ha ha ha.
Yeah. And I was like, I better like Google her and like, and then I was like, looking at your Instagram. I'm like, she does kind of look like Kay. I guess that does look like Kay. Like I'm trying because you're in a dark, like, you know, and then I was like, what if she took a picture with Kay and then she's just pretending to be Kay? Like I was, because I was like, great, I'm gonna like, you know, fall for this. And then
right, you never know if it's a catfish. You never know if somebody, I'm sure there's some in here and they're everywhere, you know, and that's okay. I love y'all too.
Yeah.
Even if Zalemon's in here, I love you too, and your daughter and your son.
I don't.
Your daughter and your grandkids. I have love. I do. I love everybody. I do. I don't. that's. Yeah, you're right. No, don't make me think about it. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm in love mood right now. I want to love everybody. I just want to give respect. But then again, there's people like her, like Zuzu, who, and Melanie. I mean, just all these people, the Rat Pack here. Literally the Rat Pack. They they're not very respectful people.
The fact that nobody has apologized, like
That and
that is
act all self-righteous and
can't even acknowledge. Oh, but when you were on East Idaho News, you acted like you were best friends.
Yep.
No. I watched that and I was like,
I watched the
your
whole
family watch that and go, excuse me, bitch. Like,
oh man.
but then, like, okay, here's if you want to stay on love, like I'll stop saying that. The people in Rexburg, I mean, the love that has come out of that little town.
That comes out of there.
I mean,
it hasn't stopped.
That has
big.
wrapped their arms around you,
Mm-hmm.
invited you into their homes.
Yes.
That is incredible. Like, that's the thing.
Beautiful.
I was thinking about this last night when I was driving home. And I was like, the thing is we automatically assume the worst in people. Because it does happen a lot. I'm not saying that. But if you just have a conversation with people, there's a lot more humanity than you would think, right? Because I'm having conversations with people I don't agree with on any issue, anywhere, anytime, right? I sit next to the lady that runs the Eagle Forum. That lady, if you're from Utah, you know exactly who she is. I sit next to her, and we're going to testify in committee, and she's going to say the exact opposite of me,
just like politicians, like you said.
We don't, but you know what? She's a nice lady. And she let me borrow her pen last time when I signed in. And I can talk to her and not agree with her on any issue, but I can be a human being and she can be a human being.
Exactly.
And that's what's important.
Respect each other's differences. It's okay. Oh my God, you don't feel the same way I do?
Right.
You know, okay, whatever. Will it matter to me in 10 minutes? Probably not. And that's why I really did have to stop being so damn impulsive.
I should do that too.
Just a whole lot of copy paste when you're like writing something anywhere or typing back, or like Mark Means, gets a hold of his phone and Twitter, and that's like when you're drunk, you should not be able to drunk text anybody. Okay?
I honestly think
just like when you're mad and you're pissed off because somebody's not agreeing with you, put your phone away. If you can't, copy and paste and crack up a week or 10 years later. It's funny as hell. Okay. You're like, ha, 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 oh my God. Wow. Because it's so small.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Lord, is Carla starting to bring out the best in you? I'm trying to.
So I don't know. Is it all for show? That's the other thing. Some things are just one thing and they're just all for show. I think he just wants it to be a panelist on.
That's it. I mean, that's
notoriety. That's up that chance.
He will always be known. He will always be known for that.
Right.
And I appreciate your realness, Robbie.
I know.
Just be real with yourself. That's it. That's what I've been telling myself. Just own up to your own bullshit. Then and only then can you go snooping and casting your opinions on everybody else. I can speak my truth
and I try. I usually try to stick to behaviors rather than.
Yeah. Don't be a shitty person.
But I think there are some people that the core of them is evil, and I believe that's
why we're here.
People, they have a truly evil core.
That's why we're here.
Whether they showed it or not. But there has been to see like your channel grow, like this is a thing for me because I watch your subscribers more than I watch mine. When I see your channel grow, when I see you on lives, when I mean, you really should do more with KJ because she's way more wise than I am. I'm like, she is like, she talks and I'm in the car
She's
going,
charismatic, and
so fucking
we all have our personalities. Everybody in chat, even.
yeah.
I mean, it's what sometimes that's what ties us all together, and brings out the humanization, the not the humanization in us, the human in us, and I like that. I love that you have people have different opinions than me. I love that.
Yeah.
Because it's really forming and molding who I am right now, right here, and you, and it's just we're growing, we're evolving, and that's awesome.
Yeah, but no, it's so like I was listening to you when you were talking to KJ, not this last one. Yeah, the one before.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, I can't even believe like the confidence.
Yeah.
Like when we first did our first live.
Oh my God.
The one we never released.
I have
or like when we recorded it. Oh God. It was like 4 hours.
No, that was the second one.
And I gotta get going because I have major homework and some work to do. But I was like, I don't know. I was worried about like, am I pushing, like, how do I make sure that I protect her, right?
And I'm doing the same. So it's crazy.
Yeah. And I was listening and I was like, she's like a little bird and she's she's free now. She can.
I'm a pretty bird. Oh, let's see if that triggers some shit in the comments.
Yeah, I mean, you have, and that's why I was so like, Krisha, you got to start, you got to grow because people want to hear from you. And I think KJ was talking about a book in the last one.
Yeah,
and I'm like sitting there going, I'll fucking ghostwrite it for you because your voice needs to be heard. Because
I just don't know how to write it. Like I'm not eloquent. I do that now when I see.
Just do what Spencer did. Remember Spencer? Spencer just told his story to John Pontius, and John Pontius wrote it.
Yeah, one day we'll be able to talk about
one day I'll have time, and I'll ghostwrite. All you have to do is tell me. I think you can write because you're a creative mind, and I think you actually could.
Oh, I could. I'm not organized, and so, what would be my first steps to like try and gather my thoughts so that one can write?
When I've written a draft of my memoir, I haven't gotten back to it in 6 months. You just start writing.
Gotcha.
I just start writing.
I want to
write like a journal, and then
all my notes that I copied and pasted and didn't post to chat because I said them out of anger, or I started typing and I ran out of character count. There's 500, by the way, 500 YouTube, and and I was like, what the hell? I can't even post it. I'm not wasting all this. I just spent 3 hours, because I'd leave it alone. And I'll go back to it. And I'm like, wait, what did I say in the beginning? So I'm like, I didn't just come that far just to come that far. So I copied and pasted. And so now I go back and I'm telling you, I crack myself up. And I even come up with my own stories with those thoughts. And it's just,
just do that. And then like KJ says, you do an outline and that, but you can do it just keep a journal. And then when you think of things, when you think of a memory of Charles or a memory of JJ or one of Tylee, just write it down really quick.
Yeah.
Or write, something that will trigger your memory.
Right. Everything does every day. This is all I do. This is how my life has been for the past over 2 years. That is what I run on, is just triggers.
Yeah.
Tab to tab, because we could be say, I could make a thumbnail right now and say, we're going to talk about Lori, you know, and somebody comes in here and they say something and it triggers like 10 more things I need to say, or it reminds me. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
It's frustrating.
You could just write it. I mean, I just started writing one day and I actually wrote the end first.
You know,
I don't want it like this story. Like, I actually might have to split it into two. I've talked about it, but I was like, I don't want the story to be one of those like, look what I overcame stories.
Yeah.
Because you know what? Not everybody can. This pull yourself up by your bootstraps. This like, well, I went through it and look, you know, now I'm a fucking lawyer person. Great, but not everyone can do that. Not everyone is at that same starting line. But if you just write things down, like people really want to hear from you. That's they want your voice, because I can talk, you know, anyone can write a book, anyone can tell a news story.
Mm-hmm.
But unless it's from you, it just doesn't have the same weight. And there are good, like Anne Roll. Love Anne Roll. Read her books like crazy. I was only like 12. I read Small Sacrifices when I was like 10. That was a bad idea because my mom was way too much like Diane Downs. But it's great to read those. But if I see a book by a family member,
I can't read another book right now unless it pertains to this case.
Yeah, you know what?
I didn't read books before, so the only reason I read as much as I do now is because I cram. That's what I've been doing. I've been cramming. I've oh my gosh, and then I want to be able to, you know, process it and take it in, and then reflect off of it so that I can make sure that I'm balanced in my thinking whenever I'm pointing out all these people, all these cult people, all this group, this movement. How can you raise awareness about somebody if you don't know what they're about?
Right.
So, oh, thank you, Debbie.
And I love what Tracy says, because honestly, Tracy, I hate my voice. I in this video, you know, that I've been editing for like a flipping month that I said I would get. I do a voiceover and I'm like, do I have a lisp that bad? Like, and I feel like I'll sound nasally. Like I was rewatching. Sometimes I'll like watch. I was watching it because Michelle said a naughty word on my live at Websleuths, and I wanted to
heard it.
I can't hear it. But anyway, I like hear my voice and I'm like, oh God, that's nasally. You know, I don't like that at all.
And I couldn't see how you and KJ, like, how are y'all? I mean, any of these content creators, how they can sit there and talk to a damn phone or a camera.
It's so weird.
And not have anybody talking back.
It's so weird.
I'm like, And then I have Jason here all the time. So I would literally have to go into my closet, my portal closet, because it would be really, you know, it's really sound in there, clothes and everything. Or just to get away. I mean, if not, then I'm over on the other end with the boys, and then they're loud and distracting. And so I just can't even be alone with my thoughts. So it's like, I just want to kind of run.
Yeah. I mean, when I was filming in here, because, you know, I kind of I can't do it when anybody's home because I feel like I sound like a kid.
Yeah. I don't like when Jason, if he's in here, if he's in here and I'm about to go live, or that's why I'm late. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say that's why I'm late. That's the excuse I'm using right now. Let me be real with myself, because I'm gonna self-sabotage some other way.
Well,
it's not that I don't want to be on time. It's not that I don't know. I don't know what that is, but I've got to fix it.
Yeah.
About myself. I don't know what it is, but I will purposely make myself late. And it's a little intimidation, like, but I should be over that intimidation part. But I think it's the pressure I put on myself.
I hate calling. I will seriously look at the phone.
Me
Should I
too.
call or answering the phone?
I'll
No.
say, and then I'll be like, you called? Through a text. I'll text you and say, you called, what's up?
Yeah.
And then go back. I will not. No, now. But I mean, you get to a point where you cannot. Like, I get so sick of typing everything. It takes forever. And so it is easier just to get on the damn phone.
It is.
I do too. Weird mom.
I neighbor knocks on the door. I'm like, go to the other neighbors.
Oh, no. You knock on my door. I look like Matrix. I am Matrix. I'm silent and swift. It looked like, there's, I don't know, those grids or whatever when somebody's trying to break into a bank or something, National Treasure, and it's got the laser grid. That's me being quiet. Like, what? How long y'all gonna be right there? And don't just pop in on me. That's, I don't do it to people. So I'm not always ready for people.
And any of you, like some of you guys, I know you have channels and stuff like that. Would you please, because I'll forget, and I want to watch your channels too.
Mm-hmm.
I have time. So if you have a channel, please like leave it in comments and stuff. Because I want to support, like Robbie, if you're going to start streaming again, I want to support that. And I think,
I would love to have Robbie on.
The channel Pops. Someone else said, well, last night, I mean, I do. And yeah, I mean, talking to, it's weird to that. And then you say stuff and you go to edit it and you're like, well, that's not funny. Or sometimes I think something is hilarious and Michelle will watch it. Well, she doesn't think I'm funny at all. And
I do it out loud to Jason. I'm like, ha, ha, ha. And I'm like, I just laughed way too hard on that one, And yeah. Bethy Boop says, part of me worries for Colby because he is young. But then I wonder if the Cox family still influences him and so push it aside. And I understand what you're saying because I have the same concerns. Trust me.
And how does he reconcile everything?
Oh, that's up to him. I can't. Yeah. I can't go into that, because that's his.
That's a total mindfuck.
Yeah, I'm not even.
That's the way his life is.
I mean, I can sit there and I do the same for my cousins who remain out of the spotlight. Who are. They've lost just as much.
Right.
It's what you make it, and Colby will be fine.
Yeah.
If Colby wants to be fine.
Yeah.
I will be fine if I want to be fine. I will be a good human if I want to be a good human, or I'll be a murderer if I want to be a murderer. I mean, it's just,
it's a matter of
just that mindset.
Like we say, everyone grieves in their own way.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to respect everyone's process. Mm-hmm. Like I said, it's totally not, because I've had people get after me for Joe, and it's totally not. And you know what? I should just contact Annie and say, listen, I'm really nervous about this. I don't know if I should or not. And I know you want to advocate, and I don't want to,
But you also have to consider that there's so many emails and there's so many comments.
Right.
And so if I'm getting to where I cannot get back, and it's out of hand now. And so now I'm like, oh my God, I don't want anybody to feel like I'm dissing them or that they're not relevant, because everybody here is relevant.
Yeah.
And it matters to me whether you disagree or not,
But people should be understanding.
Yeah, there was one person that I don't know if you saw, or I don't know if you were away, Jen, but during the live stream of the court hearing, somebody said, oh my God, the comments are so distracting. So I kept that comment up.
Oh, is it this one?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I know. I was like, that's the point.
So here, we're going to block the whole live stream with your negative comment. So here we go. I mean, come on now.
No, and Robbie, Annie has been, I asked her a long time ago if I could, she had a video, and it was like
Thank
when
you.
it first started, and I was like, hey, do you care if I use some of this footage? And she's like, yeah, just right click on it, and you can say. And I haven't talked to her, and if she ever reached out, I totally would, because I have a lot of respect for her.
I think Joe really needs the advocacy. I
Yeah.
think her voice would help. I think every one of our voices would help.
Right. But I have, like, here's the way I think about it. Like, I know you enough to feel like I can comment.
Yes.
I don't, let's say, like, if I had a conversation.
Okay, let's say that this happened. Let's flip the script. Okay. Let's do that real quick. You're me. This is not opposite day, but anyways, that was so Tuesday. But okay. Oh God. Hold on. Give me a second. Oh, okay. And okay, so you're me, I'm you, and you're seeing, I guess from your perspective or whatever, you're seeing this person who, or I don't know how to do that. I suck. My train of thought, like, what's okay? Let's say something happened to your children. I mean, just let's. I don't even know how to put it, but, and you're wanting justice for them.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you want everybody?
I don't know, because I haven't had to go through that. I feel like I need permission. That's the way I feel.
Would you give permission?
I don't know. It would depend.
Well, then you.
Because if I'm going to give permission to someone and they're not going to advocate in the way I think they should be advocated for, right? Because you're a better person than me. Because
no, you can't say that.
No, because you support everybody that.
Because I was thrown into this. I didn't have a choice, and so this is the way I handle it. I don't know. You would. I mean, it depends. You don't know how you would handle it, and I hope the hell you never do. I hope none of you ever have to. And that's where I feel protective. I don't want this to happen to another human being.
Right.
I don't want them to go through this pain and go through this agony. But I can't. On the other side of that coin is this side, is this community, this God's army thing, where that's where their spirit is alive. That's when you don't talk about someone who died, when you don't talk about them anymore and nobody talks about them anymore, I think that's when they truly die.
Right.
But when you talk about them,
yeah,
you share, it's good and it's healing, and it keeps their spirit alive. It keeps them alive, that memory. And
I just know I'm a total control freak.
I
am. I was the shittiest boss ever. I'm a micromanager. I will tell you, I worked at a clothing store for a little bit, and at night, straighten everything, right? And I was like obsessive as a manager. And I walked back and I had told a girl to straighten the back wall. And I walked back and there were like 3 or 4 things out of place. It's like 10 at night, right? I'm supposed to be out. Like, we're supposed to be out the door. And I go, I pulled everything off. Like, this is what I did. Guys, this is what a bitch I am. And I can't believe I did this. And I did apologize to her. I pulled everything off that rack and put it on the thing and go, you didn't straighten it.
Oh.
I was
and that was a total reflection of you.
I'm a total. I've always said, if you're gonna do it right. That's why my videos take forever to be edited, because if I'm gonna put out a video, I'm gonna put out a video that I see in my head. I'm not gonna.
That you endorse.
Right. So with that, I get exactly what you're saying, and I think that's totally true.
Yeah.
But let's say, like, Annie came and was on my channel and doesn't like the way I talk or doesn't like what I say, I just would feel like it wasn't my place. Like, I don't see, and this is why I covered Crystal and Kylan, and then I covered the Snow College student.
Mhm.
And after she said, this is why I stopped covering her. After she said she didn't want to be a part of the story anymore,
The Snow College.
I couldn't make another one. I couldn't do it to her because I thought if my daughter, because my daughter's the same age, a little bit older, if
Or
my
just as a victim, yes.
oh my gosh, Rainy April, that's where I worked. As Marie says.
We watch your videos, girl. I was gonna call you out, but hey.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because in case you do. But I couldn't do that. I don't judge any other YouTuber for doing that. I honestly, I don't.
Right.
But I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it.
You're respecting her wishes.
Yeah. And
okay. That's awesome.
And if Annie were like, I don't care. You can make 100 videos about Joe. I just want to keep his name out there.
Right.
I would feel more comfortable. And I really do want to talk to her and be like, listen, here is my conundrum as a victim, as someone who knows a lot of victims, but also as someone who thinks Lori was the slimiest fucking liar.
Right. Who in here
I found out that she actually accused one of Charles' kids. But again, I just feel like I need that.
Well, and that's for you. Yeah. I mean, if that's what you need, then you go in and you get that permission,
And I should contact her. I keep meaning to contact her and be like, hey,
look, get to your damn school. Get to your school.
And you know what? That's what I got to do.
Oh yeah, you were supposed to leave a long time ago.
I'm like way behind, and I actually have work to do too. So I should go. But I'm glad I got to.
I'm gonna go too
on this one.
I'm glad. I miss you.
And it's you, and I missed all of you guys. So,
yes.
And I pay attention to
when you can. But I want lunch. I'm thinking like tuna fish sandwich, like straight up. Just I don't know.
I might listen to the Ray Room, but I'll listen under my other ID because I don't like to break into other people's lives. Anyway,
I listen to everybody's stuff. That's why people are like, Kresha, if you did voiceover or you read them, then I would be here. And I'm thinking, I'm not reading all that. I did not want to be on, and I didn't want my voice to be on the video. I didn't want me to be on the video. But, hey, I don't like reading stuff either because I like to do stuff also while I'm doing stuff.
Yeah, I like to listen while I'm doing stuff.
Yeah, thank you to all the mods. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for being here. Remember who you are and what you stand for.
Yes. And what we have to get comfortable talking about difficult things.
Uncomfortable things.
Uncomfortable things. We have to be comfortable talking about uncomfortable things. See, we just switched it. I think that's good.
And then keep on looking.